Can you see the presentation?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So my project is titled Nutrient Deficiency Risk Prediction, and it aligns with my interests of AI and healthcare. So first, what was my problem statement? In my research, I found that nutrient deficiencies affect over 2 billion people worldwide. Diagnosis of these deficiencies is often expensive and really inaccessible because it relies on lab tests. And lastly, current nutrient deficiency risk predictors fail to include a lot of factors like that have to do with diet and the environment that a person is in.
Understood.
My solution aims to fill this gap by taking into account 27 factors for a complete analysis of a person's lifestyle. And some of these inputs cover diet, symptoms, environment, habits, exercise, and many more factors. I also wanted to make nutrient deficiency risk prediction more accessible and spread nutritional awareness with my project.
Okay.
So why did I choose this topic? I was mostly interested in how diet and nutrition affected your overall health. I found that AI could process multiple individual factors and give personalized predictions and advice. I also thought integrating AI would align with a growing trend that I've seen towards precision health because now more than ever, I think people are like looking at their lifestyle habits and trying to learn more about their nutrition. And
Got it.
lastly, I wanted to help members of my community understand their health in an accessible way. So how exactly does my project address the issue? I think the main thing is that compared to traditional nutrient deficiency predictors that I found during my research, they utilize only demographic factors, like usually only 5 to 10 factors per risk predictor, and these include things like age and weight. So to expand on this, my model uses 27 unique inputs for greater accuracy. Some of the factors that I found were unique to my model and that I didn't see at all in other nutrient deficiency predictors included smoking use, alcohol use, exercise, existing medical conditions, allergies, and a bunch of other factors that I decided to include.
Okay,
And
understood.
lastly, for increased clarity, I wanted to have my model not only provide risk prediction in percentage formats for 5 key nutrients, but also to have expert analysis to interpret those results and provide users with more information. So now just to talk about my workflow, it started with exploring and learning about AI and its capabilities with the help of my mentors. Next, I coded a basic model on Google Colab, which took in about 20 inputs and delivered deficiency risk percentages for 5 nutrients using a Gemini API.
Okay, all
I
right.
then iterated on my Google Colab model to send these risk percentages back to the Gemini API for interpretation to provide feedback to the users. And after I worked on my Google Colab model, I transitioned over to familiarizing myself with VS Code, Python, and Streamlit, which were the platforms that I used with the help of my mentor. So I used Streamlit and downloaded Python onto VS Code to build my user interface, which was very similar to my Google Colab model. I just added 7 more inputs during this step. And
Okay,
lastly, with my mentor's help, I also deployed my model through GitHub.
okay, all right. Question though,
Sure.
how did you come up with the input fields?
The inputs, I took a lot of prior research. I took a lot of prior research on what kind of factors of someone's lifestyle actually affects their nutrient deficiency risks. So I found that surprisingly factors like smoking and alcohol use and exercise actually have a lot to do with your nutrient deficiency risk as well.
Okay, understood. All right. And why did you switch to VS Code?
I used VS Code because with Google Colab, I couldn't really create an interactive website or platform that would make my project as accessible. So if I used Python and Streamlit on with VS Code, I was able to build a user interface successfully.
Okay, all right. Glad to know that. By the way, do you know any other way of coding front end?
I'm not exactly sure. I think I was relatively new to coding before I started this program, but I'm really glad. I think I've learned a lot along the way about building code.
All right. Okay, you may continue.
So just to reiterate some of the different platforms that I use, for my basic model or my prototype, I used Google Colab. I then transitioned to VS Code with Python installation to code. And then I use Streamlit for building my user interface. And lastly, GitHub to deploy my model.
Okay, all right.
I just wanted to show two screenshots of my code in VS Code to do a little bit of a deep dive. So I
Mhm,
thought these two pieces of code were very important to the function of my model.
mhm.
With the first screenshot, these lines code for the questions that prompt user inputs that the users see when they take the survey format. So for the
Oh,
first one, it says, please enter your age in years, and so on and so forth. It's just coding for the questions that users fill out. And my second piece of code, the second screenshot, these lines have to do with calculating the deficiency risks. Specifically, they apply weights to different user inputs to calculate the deficiency risks.
okay, understood.
And lastly, to talk about the future scope of my model, my current model provides nutrient deficiency risk percentages for 5 key nutrients. These are iron, B12, vitamin D, calcium, and magnesium. So in the future, I plan to implement prediction for many more nutrient types to make my model as comprehensive and helpful as possible. I would also like to continue to enhance my user interface using Streamlit to add different columns with helpful statistics and research to further help my users. And lastly, I think there's always more research to be done on the amount of inputs I should have and to increase how comprehensive my model is.
Okay, understood.
So that was my presentation. I would also like to thank my instructors at BetterMind Labs and definitely my mentor. So thank you for your time.
Okay, that was really nicely presented, by the way.
Thank you.
And good work on the presentation graphics as well.
I also wouldn't mind showing you my model. I just filled it out
Yeah,
before
sure.
this
We'll go
presentation.
on.
So this is the interface. One of my future scope ideas was definitely to make it more colorful and interactive, but
Hmm,
for now it's conducted in a survey format, which I filled out prior to this call.
hmm.
So I inputted different lifestyle factors. As you can see, some of the questions are just drop down, like employment status.
Understood.
Others are just open-ended questions where you can type yes or no.
Hmm.
And when I clicked analyze my risk, I received my 5 nutrient deficiency risk percentages.
Okay.
And after that, it also provided 3 things. First, the summary of my highest risks, key contributing factors, and lastly, some actionable recommendations that I could use to improve my health.
Okay. That looks good. That looks good. Nice. The UI looks clean, by the way. What you said you were planning on changing the UI as well. What changes you have in your mind?
I wanted to add more columns, especially so that users would understand the goal of this platform. And maybe I wanted to keep adding different research components because I think people are more interested in learning about their health and nutrition right now. So more research is always coming out, and I think my goal is just to inform people as much as possible.
Okay, understood. Nice. Now the demonstration looks good as well. Yeah, you may stop sharing the screen if you have done with it.